If you have a desktop PC, you need at least a keyboard and a monitor to go with it. And today's video is about the keyboard I currently use, the ROG Falchion. Hello people, this is Purple and today I am doing another tech review for the stuff I use. In this case, my keyboard. I do not plan to make this channel into a review-centered thing, but since I have been using it for a while, I think it's fair to review it so people who watch this can better decide what fits their needs, as well as to buy as little useless crap as possible and hopefully get the most bang out of your buck. I'm kind of dumb sometimes. Now for the review, I want to make this a shorter video than my phone review was, so let's go straight into it. The ROG Falchion by Asus is a 65% wireless mechanical keyboard, measuring in at 305 by 101 by 38.5 millimeters and weighing 520 grams. It comes with a little cover that can be useful to store it or to travel with it, and it has a total of 68 keys, as well as a touch panel that can be used for MIDI controls or other functions. You can program that. The specific one I have has the Portuguese layout in QWERTY and Sherry MX Reds, like RGB switches. But when this keyboard came out, you could pick from reds, the linear and silent ones that I have, whites, which are shorter, silenced too, and also linear, they are just slightly a shorter like stroke, blues, which are strongly tactile and very clicky, so like they are noisy, as well as browns, which are less tactile and less clicky than the blues, but they are still like audible and you can feel them. The black keycaps were the original and they are ABS, but some layouts were double shot PBT. In my case, like in the Portuguese layout, I wasn't that lucky. And the white keycaps are PBT, like aftermarket stuff. I bought it elsewhere, so the video isn't about them. So the thing about wireless keyboards is that you can use them without wires. So this one has a little USB dongle and works on a 2.4 gigahertz band, and you can also use it with a Type-C cable if you so prefer, and if you are going to be using it wirelessly, you can use it for up to 450 hours due to its internal battery. However, the battery life can be reduced a lot depending on the RGB settings you use. If you do not use the RGB, you are going to be getting quite close to that 450 hours, but if you have like the RGB on maximum, it's not going to last you a full week. The RGBs per key, like each switch has its own little LEDs, and it can be controlled through shortcuts, as well as the Armory Crate program, where you can like customize it even more and do stuff like Aura Sync, play with your macros. You can also like change your macros on the keyboard itself, but you can do it on the program. And when we are talking about the RGB, you can also pick 5 different levels of intensity, including like 0, 25%, 50%, 75%, 100%, as well as many pre-configured effects that already come in the keyboard and you can just pick through them by pressing the function keys and the arrow keys, or the function keys and the key like A, S, D, F, and G, which have like different settings that you can like program, and you can change what is within each of these settings in the program on your PC. The touchpad can have some utility, and when I bought it I was like, oh, this is cool, but in reality I just use it to like change the sound level of my PC when I'm doing something, and like I want to increase it or decrease it in a moment, but you can have more control over it. Now about my experience with this keyboard, I chose it because it had a form factor that allowed me to take it to uni or home for the weekend, as well as just having it in my bag if I wanted to like go on a train ride. So the size and the general shape of it, as well as because it had the option for silent switches, the reds, and so I would not bother my college roommate while using this to like type away at night or playing a game at night, because previously I had a keyboard that was like semi-mechanical. It was like a membrane that had switches, and the switches were clicky, and I didn't really like that, and it was loud as fuck. So yeah, And when it comes to that, like it being more silent, it is night and day. This is so much nicer than the other one. Not only is the sound it makes nicer, but it's much more silent. It also fits very well in any backpack, so that's great. Even like the sound itself sounds better, not just being less loud, it sounds better, so yay! Battery wise, I need to charge it about once a month, since I don't really use the RGB a lot and it's usually on the lowest setting. But I haven't been using the board a lot, so yeah, you can probably expect like a big difference depending on how you use it. When I was using it more and had the lights always on maximum, usually would last me a bit over a week, but never by like a lot, so yeah, around 40 something hours, 50 hours of usage. Design wise, I really like it, both of the board and the cover. But the little like Republic of Gamers on the spacebar is so tacky in my opinion. Like otherwise, it could pass as like a small semi-professional keyboard for you to like take to uni, to your job or whatever. But this way it just looks gamer-y, and yeah, looking gamer-y isn't great for all situations. The keycaps being ABS in the Portuguese layout is also annoying since they like started looking greasy pretty fast. A while back I had an issue with the RGB of one of the switches, and so I got it fixed, and when it came back, some of the keycaps, like I'm not even kidding, like 6 of them broke within a couple weeks, and I don't know if it was like the keyboard that they gave me had different keycaps or whatever, but they were somehow worse quality than the originals, and yeah, they literally broke off. That's the reason why I now have some white keys, because I broke the arrow keys and like 2 of the letters, so yeah, it was insane. I think I was able to like find the part that broke off, because it was like in the stem, and like glue it back on one of the other keys, but I don't really know which one it was, so yeah. Another annoying thing is that the switches are soldered, like it's not hot swappable, and that's kind of annoying, but at the same time I'm not really the person who is so obsessed with keyboards that like I build my own or whatever, so I don't care too much for that. The fact it has a battery is already very cool for me. Now, a thing that you need to like think about is if you think you like this keyboard, like if you like it, see what it is that you like, because it was not cheap. I think I paid about 130 euros when I bought this, and you can find very nice keyboards for like 50 bucks. And if you really like this board, or you really want to go with like a gamer brand, I can recommend you Asus, because they are the brand that I used. But I'm not sure if this exact model is still being sold. So you would probably need to go and get like the low profile ROG Falchion or the ROG Falchion Ace, which isn't wireless, but is pretty cool. Like the low profile is wireless, but it does have a laptop keyboard vibe instead of like a more traditional desktop vibe. So you are the one who knows what you would like to pick. But there's also like stuff like the ROG Asus, which is pretty cool, but it's more expensive, and it is a TKL keyboard, which is a bit different from a 65%. So also look at stuff like the extras that come in the box. This one came with the keyboard, the cover, as well as a little USB-C to USB-A adapter, as well as a nice braided cable. But other keyboards may come with different stuff. Maybe they won't come with an adapter, maybe they won't come with the cover. That's stuff you need to look at. Honestly, there are many other keyboards out there besides just the Asus stuff, so I think you can like pick something else. I would always recommend you actually look up more videos and like look the stuff up yourself. Don't just use my own words as the definite like thing that you need or want, and look at the pros and cons of the different shapes, the different sizes. Because like for me the 65% was great because it was smaller than my previous 100%, but you might want something that's bigger, or you might something that's like smaller. There's 60%, there's even I think 40% keyboards, and if you want you can look at that, and there's a lot of variety to choose from. If you want to like look it up yourself, get more informed on it, I would recommend you check these videos out. I think they do a generally good job of explaining switch types, keyboard form factors, and other small things that can be important when you are choosing something like this. So please go give them a watch, and I hope this video was useful, and thank you for watching. See you next time.